Hey kiddos, today we're going to start our constructions unit. But before we do, you need to realize that in the constructions unit, you are going to need in your hand a regular pencil, a compass with a pencil in it, and a straight edge. So if you don't already have those things, pause this video and go get those things. If you do already have those things, we are going to start today with actually a video within a video. So it's a very meta video today, I guess. And it's about compass tips. And this we just found online, and it's a really good refresher for how to make your compass work best for you. So I'm going to press play. Hopefully you can see this. If you can't, there is a link in your notes and you can watch it on your own. But I am going to press play right now. I'm also going to speed it up so it doesn't take as long. I'm going to put this dude at 1.75. He's going to sound like a chipmunk, but that's okay. All right, so here we go.
This video, we're going to talk about just some basic tips about how to use the compass. A lot of students, when they start doing these constructions in their geometry class, they get a little bit frustrated just not knowing how to work with the compass, and then they get discouraged and whatnot. So let me just see if I can show you. So here's a really basic compass. It's just a plastic one. There's some better ones out there, but you don't need a complicated compass. The main thing you want to make sure, though, is that these 2 points come together at the end. You don't want one point down here and one point up here. You want the 2 endpoints to come together. That's the key to having your constructions come out efficiently and effectively. The other thing you want to do is when you're using the compass, you want to pivot on this point right here. So you want to hold the compass over here on this part of the compass. You don't want to move the pencil. You want to put your pressure on this point. That's your pivot point, and that's what's going to give you a good arc when you draw it. Okay. The other thing is that some students, when they use a compass, they put the pencil perpendicular to the paper, and a lot of times what happens is it skips along the paper. It like skips. And so what you want to do, this is just my suggestion, is that tilt it at a little bit of an angle. Like see, I'm tilting it like kind of like a 45-degree angle, and then what you can do is you can pivot, okay, like this, okay, or what you can do is just move the paper and let the pencil just go ahead and trace the arc like so. So just rotate the paper instead of rotating the compass.
Okay, so that's really what I wanted to make sure you understood is we are going to be using a compass, and if you don't follow those tips, if you're trying to like move it with both hands, things are going to get messy. Also, you don't want to hold it straight up and down. You want to tilt it and then maybe spin your paper. Okay, so next it says in your notes, I am on the first page of the notes for Unit 3. And it says practice drawing various size arcs and circles with your compass on scratch paper to familiarize yourself with your compass. So if you have some paper laying around, take a minute and practice using your compass, okay? If not, we're just going to keep going here in the video. All right, and what we're going to learn today is how we create a perpendicular bisector with a compass. Now, we did perpendicular bisectors before when we did those on a graph and we wanted to like find the midpoint and the opposite reciprocal slope. And that was all fine and good, but if I don't have a graph, I need another way to get a perpendicular bisector. So a reminder, perpendicular means 2 lines that form a 90-degree angle when they intersect, and a bisector means it cuts it in half. So the perpendicular bisector of segment PQ is the line that is perpendicular to PQ and passes through the midpoint of PQ. Now we are going to make a perpendicular bisector, but we are going to do so with a compass. So I'm going to come down here to example 1 and show you how to make a perpendicular bisector. To make a perpendicular bisector, what you're going to do with your compass is you're going to put it on P. So put the pokey part on P, and then you are going to open your compass more than halfway down the line. It doesn't have to be all the way down, but it has to be more than halfway, not just a little bit more than halfway, more than halfway. I usually like to say open it about 3/4 the length of the line. And then you're going to draw an arc that's actually a semicircle up and down. Okay, so I put my pokey part on P, open more than halfway, and drew an arc. Then I'm going to take that compass without changing the opening. I'm going to take that compass, put the pokey part on Q, and draw an arc the other way. These need to intersect twice. So if I shrink this down, there we go, you will notice that they intersect twice. Now you're going to get out your straight edge. I'm just going to do it with my straight line tool. And you are going to connect the top point to the bottom point. And in so doing, you will have created a perpendicular bisector. This side will be equal to that side, and you will have a 90-degree angle right there. So to make a perpendicular bisector, you open more than halfway, draw a semicircle, move to the other side, draw another semicircle, and then you're done. One other thing I want to show you is an awesome resource that I want you to use. and that is called Math Open Ref. Okay, and if you Google Math Open Ref constructions, and I click there, there we go. There is a list of constructions right here. So we just did a perpendicular bisector. So I am going to click on perpendicular bisector and just show you what his constructions or her constructions. I don't know who made this. I used to. I'm going to click on this and I'm going to go to run. So here's another segment, PQ. Notice they open more than halfway. They draw an arc. They draw two arcs. I draw one big arc, but technically, since we're only interested in the intersections, you don't have to draw the full arc. You can just draw somewhere up above and somewhere down below. And now you have a perpendicular bisector. If I go back, a whole bunch of other constructions are listed, and we will use this site often. So back to our notes. Exercise 2. Two homes are built on a plot of land. Both homeowners have dogs and are interested in putting fencing up between their homes, but in a way that keeps it equidistant from each home. New word, equidistant. Equidistant means equal, except EQUAL, there we go, distance, which oftentimes means in between. So if I want to be equidistant from each home, I want to draw a line in between. Don't draw this. But I want to find a fence that goes there. But I don't want to wing it. I want to make sure it's exactly halfway between those homes. So I need a perpendicular bisector. So I'm going to grab a compass again. I'm going to put the pokey part on H1. I'm going to kind of tilt it to make sure I open up more than halfway to H2. I'm going to draw an arc. Then I'm going to come over here to H2, draw another arc, and then I am going to connect the dots with a straight line. Boom, boom. Now, this straight line can keep going if I want it to. I don't have to stop at the intersect points. I could let it keep going. But there is a perpendicular bisector. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Now let's look at the homework. So if I pull up the homework for this lesson here, hold on, takes a minute. Let me go into our notebook and Unit 3 constructions. Okay, and I want to get to our homework. There it is. Constructing perpendicular bisectors. So for number 1, it says construct the perpendicular bisector for DE. We already did that, so you're just going to do it again. Number 2, construct the perpendicular bisector to AB in triangle ABC. Well, wait a minute. This has a triangle. I don't care. If you want to find the perpendicular bisector of just one side, pretend like these other sides don't exist and just construct the perpendicular bisector of AB just like we did before. And then if I go to the next page, construct the midpoint. Well, wait, I didn't show you how to construct the midpoint. Yeah, but you know what? We did anyway. If I go back to the notes and go to the first day of the notes, when I constructed this perpendicular bisector, it had to pass through the midpoint anyway. So if somebody told me construct the midpoint of PQ, I would just make the perpendicular bisector and make sure I put a dot where they intersect and call that M. All right, so construct the midpoint. And then number 4 says divide AB into 4 congruent segments using the perpendicular. Well, when I make a perpendicular bisector, I get 2 equal parts. If I wanted to then get 4 equal parts instead, you would just take each side and split it up. So let me give you a very, very, very sketchy looking one. So if I was going to do a perpendicular bisector, I would draw an arc here, I would draw an arc there, I would draw my perpendicular bisector. Here's my midpoint. If I then wanted to split that up into 4 parts, I would then find the perpendicular bisector of AM by opening up more than halfway, draw an arc, connect them. Now I have a point that's a fourth the way down, and then do the same thing on the other side. Okay, now you can't do that with your hand. You need to use your compass, but I wanted to give you a heads up on what should you really be doing with those. And that, my friends, is the end of Unit 3, Day 1, Constructing Perpendicular Bisectors. So I hope everybody's having a good day. Answer your checkpoint questions and make sure you do that homework and practice with your compass. Let me know if any of you have problems. See you later.